first place. You've also got the possibility of converting those people to paying customers because they get a certain amount, maybe they go through the Let's Play and like, oh, you know what? Actually, I do want to buy this and finish this for myself. And then you've got a new customer out of that. They never had an intention of actually doing that in the first place.
And of course, even if
there's actually a fourth group that I forgot about there as well. Yeah.
There's 3. No, there's 4.
Okay, so you got the third group. The third group of people is the kind of people that probably would have bought the game, but they decided, you know what, it's easier for me to just watch the game on YouTube. And that is a lost sale. Yeah?
Not always. I think that kind of person, if they did watch it and they enjoyed it, then perhaps they might actually say, something up in passing to one of their friends who might actually buy it or go watch it. So, it could be a lost sale on 2 fronts there, but I don't know. I'm just of the opinion that I hope that people are still curious enough that they wouldn't just sit and watch someone else play this all the way through.
But I don't really know if that's the case. Especially with modern gaming. Here's the thing. A lot of people commute, a lot of people go to work, a lot of people go to school, yeah? They don't have infinite gaming time. Watching a Let's Play of a game like Broken Age is an ideal way to save, you watch it on the bus, or you watch it on the train, or something along those lines. You can pretty much do that now. Most people have the data allowance for it, at least to watch it in fairly low res, and there's that kind of thing, yeah? Then you've got the fourth group, yeah? And the fourth group are the people that have actually beaten the game, but want to watch it again because they're looking for the commentary that comes along with it. And that's where it's like an actual literal well, I wouldn't say literal transformative work, but you can make the best argument that it's a transformative work at that point, and you're actually adding value.
Yeah.
So there's your kind of 4 basic food groups of people when it comes to doing a Let's Play of this. And I think if the more interactive a game you make, the more likely it is that you're gonna have, people that either convert while watching it, or who kind of use it as a buyer's guide and decide, you know what, I really want to play this game for myself, And I think that Telltale does a good job of that, because you only ever see, if you watch a Let's Play of Wolf Among Us, you only ever see 1 or 2 choices. You can go back and you can play it and you can take the different path. It's like, oh, I went this way. Okay, well, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to go the other way, because I think, because I think this guy was an arsehole for doing that. And to me, in the kind of YouTube era, making a game that is non-interactive is just shooting yourself in the foot. And I get the idea. The thing about Kickstarter is they can make it non-interactive and it's fine, because they got the money
to have it.
Yeah, they've already got the money. They paid for the game. Obviously, they want to sell copies of it, but they made the game they wanted to make, and I've got a lot of respect for that, because they made the game they wanted to make, even if it was it wasn't all that interactive. We should probably continue with the story here, shouldn't we? So yeah.
I want to say, and I'm not sure about this, I could be completely wrong, I want to say that Double Fine actually even put up a walkthrough themselves of this game. I want to say that
might as well
happened.
Get people on the website, someone else is going to game flax it eventually. You might as well have the traffic for yourself,
They YouTubed it.
Yeah.
So then they probably make revenue
if they actually
off of
did
the video.
That,
I believe they did. Can you check?
I'm going to double check.
Because
making the revenue off the video is irrelevant. But the funny thing is, if they would deliberately pirate their own game,
I think they might have. But again, I could be completely wrong.
I think you might be wrong on that.
I'm probably wrong. I usually am.
Double Fine YouTube.
Because it could have just been a teaser, but for some reason
it might have just been a section of the game. If they actually Let's Played their own game all the way through.
No, it's just a trailer. Okay. I was gonna say, I remember seeing some footage on their thing, and I was like, please don't tell me they actually put a lot more.
Again, that's that's kind of hilarious if they actually
would have
put
been,
something like that, because it's it
must have been somebody else that put it out.
Well, loads of people would. I wonder if Broken Age the movie exists. Probably does. Has anyone done it? No, not by the looks of it.
Okay, good.
Yet, but they will. They absolutely will. The thing about it is how do you do it? Because there is this strange notion with this game, because you flip between the two. What's the right order to produce that in?
The right order?
Yeah.
I think that you should probably start with Shay.
We should be in the Talon Nebula now. Right after
you do the little
the location
saving the monsters thing, then you play Vella's bit.
Okay.
And then I think that you might swap back near the middle. of that story.
The good news is their
Before
captors
you
have left them
go with the
unguarded for the
birds
time
stuff.
being.
I think that's the only way that it
What can
really
I
kind of
do?
makes
Here, take these
sense.
controls.
But personally, for me, I thought it was like the most awesome shock in the world,
You need to
finishing
lower
all
the
of Shay's
shield
story
so
and
the
then playing
boom
Bella's
arms can
story,
be
and then
extended.
there was that big aha moment.
Okay.
Go on, lower
So
the
for me, I
shield.
thought it was great just to play
Alright.
like one and then the other.
Good. Now wait until the boom arm is correctly positioned above the subject, then... I got it! Great work, Shay. Now the boom arms will haul it in and place it in the auxiliary cargo hold.
I should go see if it's okay.
No. They must remain in complete quarantine for their own protection. And ours.
You mean
Why do I have
our
a feeling that we're
diseases
being
might kill
tricked?
them?
You are
Well, think
wise
about
for
it.
such a young cub. Now we must save more
Put two and two
quickly
together, John.
before
What
the
just
captors
happened
return.
in Bella's
Use
story?
the movement controls to position the ship.
What are you doing, John?
Position the ship so
Am
the
I actually
cargo
eating
booms
the-
can grab one of the creatures.
Well, don't they look all cute and fluffy?
Don't
and...
worry, she won't detect our moving the ship.
Hmm.
I've covered our tracks very well.
Interesting.
Careful.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Dang.
That's okay.
Got another one.
But you can't
Great.
go and talk to them or
Now
anything.
just place it in the
They
cargo
must be
hold
protected
and-
for their own
no.
good.
What is it?
Hostile forces have been detected nearby. They're coming in our direction. We need to retreat.
Not yet. There's still one more to save.
No time. We have to pull out immediately or we'll be destroyed.
No! You didn't tell me I'd have to pick who lived and died.
You want to be a grown-up? Get used to making tough decisions. No time to mourn. There's another distress signal.
Yes, I'll bring that
This one's
chat up.
from
Hang on a minute, I'm
Danger-
gonna Alt-Tab to do that. There we go.
System 5. Are you up to it? Shay, are you the master of your feelings or are they the master of you?
Are you the master of your feelings?
Give me the star chart.
I'll say I prefer David Cage games to point and clicks. No, I mean, I'm deadly serious on that. I'm not, like, just doing it to be edgy. Like, David Cage games have, again, player agency, the idea of choice, and for the most part, they have failure states. They're kind of time restricted. Point and clicks they barely qualify as games because most of them, not all of them, but most of them don't actually have failure states. So there are some where you can die. Beneath the Steel Sky would be an example. But then again, that was barely a point and click. That was a little bit different.
Sorry, I'm drinking like a lot of diet
got
soda
security
right now.
cameras everywhere.
So I'm like
Only for
having
your
acid
protection.
reflux moments. So I'm like not
Excuse
talking.
me,
like-
Merrick, what are you doing? There's no time to waste. Take that vent to the navigation.
Yes, I do like chat, unlike TB.
I don't like Jet. There's them sit there. But it doesn't matter. Here's the thing for me, though. It
If I give
doesn't
the
matter
Space Weaver a star
if
chart,
it's got a decent
he'll
story.
weave
That's
the
the thing.
destination
Like, obviously,
pattern
Broken
into
Age
his
story
snow
blows anything that David Cage has ever done out of the water, right? There's no question about that, because his stories are fucking terrible. But here's the thing. Like, you feel a part of that story because you actually made some decisions within it, and you were able to affect the outcome. And that, to me, I would rather be able to affect the outcome of a bad story than be a bystander and a spectator to a good one. Because that's what a video game is to me. I can watch a better story than this by firing up Netflix, and I'll have a bazillion choices.
No, because you like bad movies. Like you.
I'm not talking about movies. I'm talking about television shows.
No, I know, but you like even dumb television shows.
Like what?
I'm not saying a specific
Like
example.
what?
No.
Like what? What dumb television shows have I been watching?
You barely watch television
Ha!
shows.
See? I don't watch dumb TV.
No, but you watch dumb movies.
Yes, because I want to waste 2 hours of my time and loaf out.
Right, but I'm just saying, you can't say like, hey, well, I have the highest brow in critiquing movies.
I don't critique movies.
No, you don't. So I'm just saying, even something like this, you can't really compare this to like watching random X movie or X television show and call it better or worse.
Well, I
because,
can. It's
No,
like,
because you have ridiculously low standards when it comes to watching stuff.
Movies?
Yeah,
My
and you're
standards for
calling this a
television-
movie.
Yes, but I only did that because it's not long enough to be a TV show.
Excuse me?
Well, it's only 3 hours.
Excuse me?
Well, it's only 3 hours. 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 3 hours So it's movie length. But yeah, I mean, it's... The arguments that people are making about puzzle games is kind of right. The thing is, like, you can play a puzzle game that's not a point and click. You want to play a puzzle game, you play Antichamber. You know?
No.
Yeah, that's a puzzle
No.
game. That's a puzzle game. You play
No.
Portal, you know?
No. Gosh, no.
Those are games that have an emphasis. They have a set of puzzle mechanics. They have a set of established rules. And you do the puzzles within that rule set. And then, of course, the Antichamber changes the fucking rules every 10 minutes.
Yes.
But that's fine. In a game like this, it's less a case of established rule sets, more a case of, right, rub X on Y, that's the puzzle, you know? There are some there are some point and clicks that actually have puzzles.
Hashtag rub X on Y.
I still want to point out, by the way, that I don't watch terrible television. And you have not been able to come up with a single example of terrible television that I watch. So...
Because you really don't... I mean, what do
Because
you
I really
watch?
don't watch terrible television, exactly.
No,
Thank
because you
there we
really
go.
don't watch television.
I watch television a lot.
Like... What did you actually watch besides 24?
That was ages ago.
I know,
I haven't watched 24 in like 8 years. Where did that come from?
Let's see, what'd you watch? You watched 24, you used to watch...
The Shield.
The Shield.
Which is fucking awesome.
Yes.
The Wire.
You watched frickin' Enterprise.
Yeah, that's because I'm into Star
You
Trek. I
watched Enterprise.
I did. I watched...
It's like
also, it's not called Enterprise,
No.
by the way. Enterprise.
Shut up.
Americans.
No.
Enterprise.
With a bajillion archived glorious hours of Deep Space Nine that you could be watching.
I've watched all of Deep Space Nine
But
twice.
you could watch it. I would rather...
Twice.
I would rather watch
I might watch
all
it
of
again. I may watch DS9 again.
No,
I watched DS9 twice.
I would have rather sat through all of the back-to-back episodes of Voyager... like,
Hey,
on repeat,
Space Weaver,
then watch
can you take me
Enterprise.
here?
And that
And-
horrible theme song!
Oh,
Oh!
I skipped. That's the wonderful thing. I can skip the theme song. But no, I would say that Enterprise is better than Voyager. I'm sorry. Voyager, I mean, it's like I can't work out which is worse for breaking the canon. You know, which breaks the canon worse, Voyager or Enterprise? Enterprise, where it's like, oh yeah, we met the Borg like 200 years ago, we just neglected to mention it. Or Voyager, oh yeah, we blew up half the Borg with fucking super space armor and modified quantum torpedoes. It's like, oh, the fucking Delta Flyer is a good match for a Borg cube. It's like, in what fucking universe? God.
Goddamn Enterprise.
No,
Horrible.
Enterprise was good.
No.
Enterprise had some fucking continuity. Voyager was
No.
bullshit.
This looks like the place.
I would say Voyager and Enterprise are my, like, two least favorite. Give me Next Gen any day.
Well, obviously, Next Gen
Next
is
Gen
better.
is number one.
Number 2.
Number one.
Behind Deep Space Nine.
See, Deep Space Nine is almost on the level for me, but it's just like I can't
Deep
give
Space Nine
up.
nailed the continuity. TNG was like weekly reset. That was the main problem I had with it. Outside of the two-parters, TNG was weekly reset, and as a result, there was barely any character development outside of maybe Data and possibly Wesley Crusher. Well, don't even. I've been in close proximity to that man.
He's so cute.
Let's get more dialogue.
Okay, we should be in Danger System 5.
Are we ever? Take a look at this.
Okay, do this again, I suppose.
Excellent. Securing subject
Double
and
fine
cargo
just...
hold.
That's not actually double fine, is it?
I should hope not, because we're sitting here having a Star Trek conversation.
I just need to double check.
You're seriously considering that this is a thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not actually double fine.
No one fills out their Twitch profiles.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
No,
And they would be playing
that is
something else.
actually double fine.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
I think so, unless they
No.
have faked their name. No, it is, look.
No. Oh, God. Oh, my God. We're horrible people. Oh, we're sorry.
No, that is quite literally double
Oh,
fine. by
no.
that. Yeah, alright, well, that's that. Thanks for the $5. I guess I gave you 50 for this game, so almost evens out. Anyway.
I bought it after release.
I kickstarted this thing.
I
so,
would have kickstarted
Go
this
on,
thing had I
move
actually
the
known
ship.
about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, she
Well,
won't
crap.
detect our moving the ship.
Well, let's be honest.
I
Like,
covered our tracks
They're on a
very
cabin
well.
trip and watching that.
oh dear.
Oh, God.
Go on.
Why?
Move the ship.
Why?
Move the ship.
Why would you do such a thing? Anyway,
Careful.
as I was saying,
Wait
It's
for
like-
it.
the thing about this game,
Don't
as I
wait
said
forever,
before,
though.
is like when you criticize the point-and-click genre, it's not a case of you
Just push
criticize
the
the
button.
game because Tim is. Oh god.
Can't say anything anymore.
Yes, I can. No, the fact of the matter is, it's like
Great
it's almost
work.
like making a deliberate mistake, right? It's like, yes, Don't Fight Adventure, a deliberate mistake.
Wow.
The point is that you make a game within a specific genre with a specific
When it
mission
comes to
statement, yeah?
choosing a
Yeah.
future,
And this
you
is
must
why I find
trust
critiquing
your
this stuff so
instincts.
difficult because
they did
it's a
accomplish-
genre that I personally
Go on,
hate,
move
and I
the
have a
ship.
good set of reasons for hating it. But I'm also supposed to critique the game on its own
I
merits,
can't tell you which
and that's
bit
quite
you're saying.
difficult.
But you
Look into
also
your
have
heart, young
to
cub.
take into account that this is the game that they wanted to make, and they
Good.
accomplished
But
that.
hurry, we're running out
So
of
it's
time.
like, what are you critiquing here? Are you actually critiquing the game, face value, what it is?
Yeah, but
Careful.
you can't critique on the basis of them creating
for it.
what they wanted because it's also about the consumer,
Don't wait
right?
for it.
yeah, but
because
it's obviously what they wanted. They kickstarted
yeah,
it.
well, but is it though? Because
Just push the
I'm gonna
button.
be honest. I'm just gonna ignore this because I want to see more dialogue. Like when I actually initially kickstarted this, I
can't tell you
kickstarted it
which creature
before I
to
think they hit
save.
the 400,000
Look
mark.
into your
And
heart,
the
young
vision that
cub.
I had in my head when they said a classic adventure was something along the lines of, we're gonna take the overall art style and aesthetic, that nice, colorful. I wouldn't say 16-bit because it was a PC game, but you get the idea, right? The stuff
Yeah.
that basically full throttle,
When
you
it
know,
comes
that
to
kind of
choosing
graphic
a
style.
creature,
And they're gonna
you
make a
must
game that's
trust
like that.
your
But what they
instincts.
actually did was they made a very unique aesthetic, which doesn't really match up to any other game. And so my expectations were actually different to what the Kickstarter eventually produced, right?
Okay.
So you can argue, as a result, that it wasn't what I personally wanted.
can't tell you
You can
which
also
creature
make
to
the
save.
argument that even if the development
Look
team
into your
says
heart,
we made
young cub."
exactly what we were what we set out to do,
Right.
if the consumer is unhappy, then there's still a level of criticism that can be leveled at it. Because there is a lot of video game critique. We have the ability, thankfully, to talk in objective
Don't worry,
terms a lot of the
she
time. We can
won't
specifically
detect our
say,
moving
all right,
ship.
well, this options
I've
menu
covered our
is
tracks
lacking
very
these
well.
options, like mouse smoothing is forced on by default, or there isn't proper resolution options, or this system literally doesn't work correctly. And we can do some kind of semi-objective things. And thankfully, we don't have to be fully subjective all the time, but we still have to come down to
tell
subjective
you which
preference
creature
at
to
some point,
save.
right?
Right.
Look into
So
your heart,
what we'll
young
say
cub.
at that point is, well, even though the development team made what they set out to do, I personally dislike what they did for these reasons. Yeah? And that's what a critic does. That's what a reviewer does. So it's an
Don't
interesting
worry,
job, but
she won't
specifically
detect
with
our
me,
moving
I
the
find
ship.
this game
I've
and
covered
point and
our
clicks in general extremely hard to critique because it's not a genre that I personally
Okay,
like.
that's enough.
And it's
do you
almost a
mean
case
that's
of like I would have to
I mean, enemy ships are approaching.
Okay, I'm just gonna
I
let
don't
this guy
see
speak
anything.
because he's way more
I need
talented
to
than I
save
am.
this
Here we go.
last one. You're going to endanger the whole mission to save one creature?
Just give me a second.
This is a waste of time. There is no need for this. It's just one creature. We've saved more.
Whoops.
Rats. Dang.
I wonder how many more failure noises there are.
Dang.
We've saved.
Dang.
You see,
You know, you were really bad at like that whole claw.
everyone
machine.
was bad at the claw. Everybody. Consider that.
Now, see, initially when I played, since I've beaten the game, when I played through Shay's playthrough first and then played through Vella's, I thought that this whole bit here in Shay's story, because this was the first stuff that I had played, I thought that this was kind of weird. I was just kind of weirded out. I had a strange, odd moment, like, why is this in the game? And then as soon as I played Vella's story, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a horrible person.
Oh, you
I
saw
want
the
to go
connection
die.
there kind of immediately.
I know, I felt so bad. I was just like, oh my god, I'm a monster.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do with part 2. Definitely the first part is most assuredly linear, but again, I don't see the problem with it being linear in the context of point click, because point clicks are linear. That's kind of the idea, you know? Unless you're gonna have deliberate multiple endings and mutually exclusive choices, and even that is still linear. It's just multiple lines,
You
right?
have issues with linear gameplay.
Yeah.
You get bored by these things. See, I think that this is nice. I having finished the game, you have not, so you can't actually speak to it all just yet. But I actually thoroughly enjoyed the game. And I am kind of pissed off that Act 2 is not out already, because I
Something's
want
wrong.
more.
Cut it loose. We need to retreat before...
Attention, ship is under attack.
What happened?
Probably one of the enemy vessels I warned you about, remember?
We need to get that last creature.
Too late. The ship is retreating under autopilot to a safe location. And we're completely locked out of the controls.
How are we going to perform any more rescues?
We'll have to find another way to hack into the boom arm controls. And another way to bring the shields down at the right time. And who knows if we'll be able to navigate to the right system now that the ship's on high alert.
The ship's computer must be freaking out right now.
Oh, yes. As soon as the alarm sounded, the first thing she probably did was check on you and your...
See, for me, it's like a lot of these
Shay,
little touches.
Shay,
You know,
are you
just the
hurt?
stuff that isn't technically necessary, but just add something to the
Don't
story
worry,
for me.
sweetie.
I like it.
Again, which is why I would
Things
happily
happen,
watch this
shit, but
movie.
Mommy's taking care of it. Nothing to worry about, okay?
I keep calling it a movie.
Hey, it's a compliment to the voice actors, it's a compliment to the animators, to the graphic designers, and everyone involved in this. The problem is, again, with point and clicks, that I do feel I personally prefer to watch them and not play them. I suppose this would be the point where you switch back to the other story, right?
Better
You
get back to
could.
Merrick to hear his plan.
And to the people shouting spoilers, oh please, we're all playing through this together.
Well, it's a weird thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, I'm concerned about spoilers, yet I'm watching a playthrough of a game. What?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there's very little logic in that. I'm going to switch back to the other story at this point. I think I prefer the aesthetic of this lot as opposed to... The space stuff is cool, don't get me wrong, but...
I prefer Vella's story. I think it's
everything that I see
much
kind of on
better.
Vella's end looks... It's just, I don't know, it's subjective preference. It's not like the art quality is bad in the space sections at all. It's just, I happen to prefer this. It kind of makes a little bit more sense as well. It's like, hey, look at this land of imagination in the clouds and this
I think
angry
we need to use a
blue bird.
ladder to get up there.
Yeah. Also, I want to talk to the broccoli
there.
bird.
I just feel like Bella comes into contact with more interesting characters. I mean, I get that Shay can't really do that considering where he is set, but it's just like Bella has the opportunity to meet so many different characters and interact with them.
They're shouting at us to go back to the space story.
They really want the spaceship now?
Because it's a lot more open at that point, apparently. Alright, okay.
They just want to see you get
Double Fine's
shrunk.
backseat gaming. God.
They just want to see you get shrunk. Go on.
They'll be typing this like, oh, you missed lethal, you know? You should have played this card. Sorry, I've been playing too much Hearthstone. It must be an absolute pain watching other people play your video game. No,
Especially you, considering you hate the whole genre.
well, I do hate the whole genre. I don't hate the whole genre, but it's a case of whether or not you strictly define the genre as the traditional point and click, or whether or not you include stuff like Telltales, which is less of a point and click. It's hard to even like. I think like Telltale stuff is actually closer to an RPG than it is a point and click.
Yeah.
I would
agree with
I would
that.
clearly state that. You're playing a role, you're making specific dialogue choices that have an impact. They are RPGs.
I'm convinced that Tim Schafer is the moon. Because the moon keeps popping up every now and then. It's like, I'm watching you. Constantly watching you.
Indeed. But now it's a case of click on everything and find fun dialogue.
Oh, look.
The spoon.
Can't believe she'd leave something this dangerous lying around.
Super dangerous.
Nothing.
You do not want me to stream Goddess and have Peter Molyneux backseat. That is a very bad idea.
Goddess is so broken right now. Like, it just is.
The last time I played Goddess was months ago when I first did the alpha, and like for the first couple of hours, like I had the populous feel, and then it was rapidly starting to grate on me in a big way.
No, I played it up until like I couldn't actually play it anymore because it is broken.
Well, you've done all the content. Well, of course, it's in alpha.
Yeah. No, but I mean, okay, I guess broken's a bad thing to say considering it's early access, but still.
So you played it until you couldn't play anymore, basically.
Well, until the mechanics actually stopped working the way they're supposed to. Let's put it that way. I couldn't actually influence more villagers anymore.
Okay.
Like it just stopped in one region for no reason at all.
Come on, Grab and Gary. Be more fun. You can do it. Can't you do anything except grab stuff? Stay on alert. I think there might be food around.
Always, sir.
Are you enjoying the galleys?
Yeah. So I made the point that I liked Machinarium, which, like, again, I would have preferred to watch it. The thing about Machinarium is it's actually more of a puzzle game.
Is it Machinarium or Machinarium?
I don't know how you pronounce that. I used to pronounce it Machinarium. I'm not sure if it's...
I would think it would be Machinarium.
I would think it would be Machinarium because of Deus Ex Machina, for obvious reasons. But...
A lot of people actually say Deus Ex Machina.
Well, they're wrong. It's Machina.
Of course they are. But I'm just saying.
At least I think they're wrong. I hate making definitive statements about words like that. It's like,
we've just had
what's my level of Latin education? Quite low, as it turns out.
We've had a DS9 versus Voyager versus Next Gen conversation. Now we're having pronunciation discussion. We're horrible people.
The thing about Machinarium is that Machinarium is actually almost more of a puzzle game than it is a point and click.
It is very much a puzzle game.
There are a lot of very traditional puzzles in there that don't generally fit into the point and click idea. There are some Robex on Y, but there are some actual puzzles in that.
That game is so hard.
Oh yeah, I used to walk through. Well, they put a walkthrough in the game, like.
They put hints in, right? Was it a hint system?
No, it's actually beautiful because they actually hand illustrated. No, literally, because you play this stupid little mini game to open up the book, and they have hand drawn every solution. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, that's kind of like what. Oh gosh, who was the company that made Tiny Thief?
I have no idea.
I can't remember who it is, but they have that in their game, and I thought that was really clever and cute.
Tired of being a prisoner in my room. I'm sick of being a prisoner on this ship.
I know, son. I know it's hard. You've given up so much. Listen, I'd like to tell you a story. A story of another person your age, a young girl. She wanted to live a normal life, but she was chosen. She was honored with a special duty. Some people would call it a sacrifice, but what she didn't realize at the time was that it was a great honor.
Please. I've heard the story of the sacrifice girl a million times. I know the ending. The sacrifice girl is you, right?
What I'm trying to tell you is that I made a hard choice, but I regret nothing because...
Great story, computer. I'm sorry they programmed you with someone's sad memories, but I have to go.
You know the truth deep down, son. And I know you'll appreciate my words someday.
Uh-huh. Brother.
That takes you to the Weaver.
Oh, is that the direct access to the Weaver?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So you don't have to sneak around. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a point and click that I've ever enjoyed. You know, Machinarium to some degree, but I think it was more
really just can't get into the story, can you?
No, I mean I'm incapable of it.
That is such a shame because it's such a nice story.
Yeah, I mean I am incapable of getting engaged with stories that way because I look for interactivity within my actual experience, and point and clicks generally limit that.
You never did the avalanche, so if you go in there...
Oh, actually, that's the avalanche room, is it? Okay.
Uh-huh, but of course, you can't do the avalanche anymore.
No.
When the candy and treats are all you can eat 24/7, they just aren't that appetizing anymore.
Oh, this kid's got some real tough
I love the Yarden characters. I just think they're the most adorable thing.
Hey guys.
I suppose you want to run the Avalanche Mission Protocol. Hey, we're supposed to be on break.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
It is true. No game could be for everyone, and it shouldn't be either. Because if you try and make a game for